Jag vet inte.
Yay.
Nu säger den att vi kör igång.
Woohoo.
Oh, so nice, Susanna, to have you with me today. Oh,
Thank you for letting me guest.
I just have to take kind of a deep breath and take you in.
It's so nice to be in your space again. It's been too long.
It's been way too long, and I just shared with Susanna before we went live now that I'm missing the physical circle so badly, and Susanna is a big part of my physical circle. We usually see each other like 4 times a year at least, and now it's been ages. So I was just kind of crying here a bit. And it was both sad tears because missing you and happy tears because it's so nice to have you with me.
Yeah, likewise, totally. And yeah, and my body recognizes the trust and faith and calmness that comes from being physically near you. So I could also like tap into that, like us being side by side in the sofa or holding each other and just leaning into that love and that trust.
Yeah, it's the same. And thank you so much, all of you who joining us live. It's so nice to have you with us too. And if all the technical stuff works, then I will be able to see your comments. So please share with us if there's something that vibrates with you, if there's something that if it's something happening in you, and so know that you are also part of this communication and this exploration that we will do today about how to build a culture of trust with the horses.
Yeah. And if you're Swedish and watching, it's totally okay to write comments in Swedish. It's only Nina who will see them though, but you'll keep track of them if everything works.
Yeah, and I will lift them up if there is something that is relevant for the talk at the moment. So, and if you feel like this is something, this is an exploration and a talk that might vibrate with someone else and might give value to other people, so please share them as a video party or share it afterwards, because this exploration is an invitation to everyone, and we just love to give it freely to as many people as possible. So just spread the love if you feel like it, and share the message.
And also even more, I guess, now when the horses are involved and their persistent loving but still very persistent push of spreading the word and getting this way of viewing horses out there as much as possible. And we're forever grateful for all shares and everything around that, and the horses around us and around you.
Absolutely. Christine Tina is just sending her love. It's so nice to have you both here. I know we haven't met Christine, but I feel like I know you, and I feel like that you're a part of this tribe. So it's lovely to have you with me. Thank you.
And if it's the Christine, I think it is. She's been on our utbildningstermin here. So yeah.
She's definitely part of the tribe.
Absolutely.
Physically. How are you feeling today, Susanna? We always check in on the feelings to allow ourselves to be more present in our bodies and our feelings. What's happening in you at the moment?
I'm a bit nervous. And besides from that, I had a lovely morning with the horses in a non-doing, spending time together. And the reason why we could have that was because yesterday wasn't so good. And then Arrow and I had a talk on ego, and letting go of expectations and identification, which I'm sure we will get back to in this talk. And when you come to that place of I know, I know, and that's when the connection just falls. away. So she helped me back in my tracks again of not knowing and exploring, and of course knowing some, but not being like this is the truth of what we should do or how we should do it. So it's that was a blessing to have that talk with her, and it always gives me an exhale to be reminded that I don't have to know, and that this is something that we explore together. So that's also why it was a lovely morning here with the whole herd, and also for those of you who don't know, we have two foals who are 4 and 13 days old. So it's hard to not be there all the time with them, but now it's raining, so that's why I'm indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had a plan to be outside, both of us, but it's raining both in Skåne and here, so now we're inside and hoping that internet will carry us to your homes too.
And how are you, Lina?
There's a lot of things going on in me. It's been a morning of a lot of fears of being judged and not being enough, not being good enough, not having good enough internet connection, not being good enough to be allowed to meet you here, not good enough to spread my love and my medicine and my gifts in the world. And I feel that this the energies and the spirits and the horses are really very present and pushing a lot to just let go of the not good enough. So it's been a really beautiful morning. And it's been a lot about liberating myself from the illusion of having to please everyone else and having to be here for someone else's benefit. Of course, I do this to give value to people, but I do it because this is what I'm supposed to do, not because the content is the most important, or the internet connection quality, or whatever. I do this because this is my mission and I can't do anything else. And just the radical acceptance of that. This is life now. It's raining outside. I have some days a shitty internet connection, and I miss you so badly that I'm crying my eyes out. And just and it's just beautiful. So thank you for meeting me here today.
Thank you.
And Veronica and Gabriella is saying hi. And I'm missing the physical tribe, the physical circle so much, but to connect like this is also so deeply touching, and I feel every one of you being here with us today. So, and I'm so much looking forward also to go into meditation with the horses at 3:00, because this is just a space of being in the circle and being in the tribe, and so much love.
Totally.
Thank you. I feel like I would love for you to share some of your story. Where do you come from in yourself? What your exploration and your searching in life? What is the longings that lay behind it, and why has the horses been such a big part of your journey and your life? It's not a small question, but
so feel free to jump in during the answer. My mom and dad has told me that horse was one of the first words I ever learned to say. Like I learned mom, dad, horse. So I guess there was a connection that was with me since before that, also since coming into the body. Um, I got my first horse on Christmas Eve when I was 4, Shetlands pony, and I, in my adult life, when I have thought about what made me drawn to horses, I realized that it was the fact that someone saw me. I get all emotional, which is okay.
Okay.
That I had an upbringing that wasn't super in several ways, and I the horses for me represented someone who was there, who was actually there, who was emotionally available, who was physically available to hold me. And I don't know if I knew that at the time, but obviously it was a strong longing for them. But then, as I grew up, I had horses from the age of 4 to until I was like 20, and then I had a couple of years without them, and then again, I that softness and that holding eventually went away when society and riding schools and everyone came and said how it was supposed to be and what I needed to do with my horses. And I remember always feeling like there wasn't enough time when I was asking a horse to come with me or do something. There was always this pressure, like the horse was supposed to be obedient at the same second, which now, as an adult, I understand that for a horse to be that ready to do something would like require their nervous system to be like alert all the time. Yeah, and something in that didn't really resonate, although I didn't understand that then. And then, yeah, I had a couple of years when then I started to study psychology in my 20s because I wanted to see if there was a way to feel better than I did. I wanted to crack the code on how to actually like myself or be brave enough to do anything. I was really shy at that time and didn't. There was a lot of fear, which wasn't weird because of the background, but it's still there was still this longing that life's supposed to be more than this.
Yeah.
So I studied psychology for 4 years in Lund and Skövde, and didn't really learn what I wanted to learn because it was mostly theory and, and not like the practical tools that I wanted to have. So I continued my search and studied coaching, and also went into yoga and women's work and meditation and such, where I actually found the tools that I'm really grateful to be able to share on today, knowing how much it has meant for me and my life and yeah, life force and happiness and everything.
I'm also very, very grateful that you decided to do this journey. You're one of the people in the world that just knowing that you exist makes me feel a little more sane and a little more like, okay, I'm yeah, sure. I kind of break the norms in so many ways, but I'm not alone doing it.
And that's exactly how I feel about you also. Like I can take breaths sometimes and just like the feeling of not walking alone in this, which is also why we created gathering of the horse tribe and such, like to have that space. But then horses came back into my life in the mid-20s, and then I was more on a quest to understand horses. I really wanted to understand them the way I felt that they had understood me. So what what I found at that time was horsemanship, which labeled their work as horse psychology, which I understand now wasn't horse psychology. It's just some man who decided that this is how I want to label stuff, so I can do what I want to do. But at that time, it was a way to try to understand the horse. So I was in that world. Later leaning into True Connection, studied for Nora Enquist, as we both have studied for some years. And 10 years ago, I started my first company, which was a company where we used horses in therapy for humans. And it was a ground-based therapy, which was really beautiful in their essence. But for one, it was like somewhat before all of this had come into Swedish.
You were quite early in.
Yeah, and also I've also understood afterwards that we used the horses my partner and I had. It was not like it wasn't their intention or wish. They happily assisted, but since we weren't totally free yet, they weren't either. And so we had that for 3 years. And then it moved on. I went into my own coaching company, which later also transitioned into horses and how horses and people can meet deeply. And 3 or 4 years ago, I came in contact with positive reinforcement and learned about learning theory and what a difference it makes, how something is learned. And I guess we'll come back to that, but also like how a horse truly can be safe enough to say no if they know that there aren't any bad consequences. And if something is taught via pain or threat of pain, then they might not even try to say no again for several years or ever. So the importance of the liberation of the horse, so they know that they can be free. And then 3 years.
I feel that what you're. We will probably come back to this again, but the part that you talk about now, the allowance of saying no. I just wanted to just lift in me that it resonated with what I started sharing, the liberation of not having to do something for someone else, but doing things from a deep feeling of yes in me, because this is what I want to do. This is what serves me. So what I'm hearing is, from my perspective, is that you're searching with the horses, and your longing to understand them is also connected with your longing to understand yourself.
Absolutely.
And how you can create a freedom for yourself, and the journey to understand the horses is your journey to understand yourself.
Absolutely. And I guess what both of we talk about also is that horses is one way of reconnecting to ourselves and our nature, as you so beautifully often talk about the non-separation, the still being in contact with everything and knowing that we're all connected. And horses, since they haven't separated themselves from each other and they're still so very beautifully connected to nature and each other, they can be one way to remind us of coming home to ourselves. And then the last couple of years I've done a course in animal communication for my longtime hero Emily Kajsdotter, which has of course opened up even more to step into her enchanted world. So yeah, and that's where we are now, where I can finally live this dream of giving people a way home to themselves via horses, and horses a liberation from the society standards that we have posed upon them.
And what I what I hear when I hear your story is basically a journey of exploration of how to build a culture of trust, how to build a culture of trust to yourself and allowing yourself to be free, and how to build a culture of trust with your horses so you can allow them to be free and so that you can meet and explore what magic can arise in that free meeting, and how you can both grow as much as possible, basically, because maybe what I'm kind of seeing is that maybe that is kind of the essence of the journey that you are sharing, that the growing, the exploration, the adventure in life is to allow yourself to understand yourself and others and to meet and see what happens in that meeting. But it's only in the free meeting, it's only in the freedom when true development and true growth is possible. Because then there isn't a lid, there isn't a box that says, no, you can't grow here, you can't grow like that, you're not allowed to be this. Because then you can actually freely explore who are you and who am I, and find even deeper parts of yourselves in that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with this journey, this amazing journey that you have done, and I know how deep your dedication is to it still, because this is also an important point. This isn't a journey that starts and finishes. It's a journey that is life. It is always. And to be able to be in that freedom is a dedication every day, every hour, every breath, because you're never finished. That's not how it works. But with this journey, what keys would you say you have found in your exploration? What is a culture of trust for you, and what have you found is the most important parts of building that, both to yourself and to your horses, because they are the same, basically?
I believe one is the non-expectation on both myself and the horses. I come from a background of perfectionism, which still shows its face regularly, and with that comes so much pressure on myself and on the horses. It's been a long way, and it still is a long way to separate myself from what I think I need to do to be worthy, what I need to perform, or who I need to be worthy to be a part of what I wish to be a part of. And for one, horses can help me there, because if I let them, they will accept me in any state or form or feeling, and that's been a major insight for me. The first time a horse came to lay down beside me was after a Nora clinic, the one where we actually met in Denmark, and I stood with my horses, and I said, this is my heartbeat right now. I might wish it was different, but this is how it feels right now, and this is my breathing right now, and I just want to share it with you, and this is how I'm feeling right now. And I was totally transparent with that, and my horse took a big sigh and lay down next to me, and of course my mind said, oh, this is a coincidence. So I was like, well, he was tired. And then like a minute passed, and my other horse came and lay on my other side, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something here.
So can we just pause with that a little bit? What was the core here that made the horses feel so safe that they could relax so much and be so vulnerable? Because that's what they are when they lay down. They're in the most vulnerable state ever. What's the core there that made them, give them this space and this feeling.
I love your questions, by the way. Thank you for stepping in and accentuating. I believe it was that I shred some masks and shields that I usually had around them because I thought that I needed to be something or someone to be worthy of also their love or their friendship. And there I was being vulnerable myself, saying that this is who I am, and letting them all the way in, and that was such a release for me and for them, that they didn't have to hold anything anymore, I think.
And what I hear and feel is the allowance. When you allow yourself to truly be you, without the masks and without the shields and without the armor, you also allow them to be themselves truly and deeply. So they did not have to be alert. They did not have to hold anything. They did not have to, oh, what she's doing now, what's happening, and being in that state, and they could truly sink in and trust that you are here and you are present, and that you are connected completely with them as well. Because if you are totally present with your feelings, then you are also totally present in theirs.
Absolutely. And I think that is a really important piece to also give to the ones who are listening, that most people that we meet that are around horses have a really deep longing to hear their horses and understand their horses. And from that can also, in that you can find a lot of pressure also, because of course we all want to hear them all the time super clearly, which isn't the case for me at least. But that could be a way in, to be with yourself, to be with your own feelings, as you so beautifully guided us in the beginning of this call via a check-in, just like, how am I feeling? What's going on in me? And that actually is one way for them to actually also share their feelings with you. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So thank you for pinpointing that.
I just have to stay with that for a couple of breaths, because that's such deep wisdom. So I just want to invite all of you being here with us right now to just take a couple of deep breaths deep into your body, into your root, and all the way down to Mother Earth. And allow yourselves to open up for that allowance, to put down your masks, lay down your sword and your shield. Allowing yourself to be open and soft and vulnerable, because in that lies your true strength. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
What do you feel?
Just jump in with one more thing there? and the other part of what I think is a major takeaway from this is also the non-expectation of on the horse. Of course, somehow in society we have taken our worth and we put like what the horse does on our worth. So we think that how my horse behaves or what it can accomplish says something about my worth, and that makes it really complicated, because it is another individual that we are coexisting with, and that society tells us that we can own, that we can, just because I buy your food, it means that it's okay that I use your body for a ride, even if you don't want to, for example. And yeah, we need to separate those again, bringing again us back to ourselves and the connection with the horse and the relationship with the horse.
So what I hear you describing is letting go of the illusion of ownership and control, of the illusion that we think that we have the right to decide over anyone else's body or feelings or energy or spirit. And I mean, this is something that we look at as quite obvious. And of course, it's like this when it comes to humans, and still the world looks like it does. So this is not true at all in how we live in co-relationship with other humans. My experience is that it's even we're even further from that understanding when it comes to animals, because we have a society, a culture around us which is kind of built on using each other and using animals also in that sense. So it's quite a deep programming you're talking about,
Totally.
meeting and releasing.
And I fail still daily and
Yeah,
like
me too.
like for example yesterday. So we're not saying that this is like you have to be there all the time to be able to be around horses. It's again the exploration, and like we so beautifully talk about a lot, and that's what you spread, Lena, is that in this culture of trust, there is also okay that there is an exploration, and that sometimes we fail. But if we stay with ourselves and our feelings in that, and meet the horse and its feelings in that, healing can happen.
Yeah.
You helped me so much.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
You want to tell the story so you can talk also. Go ahead.
I remember this one time, which was a profound experience for me when we connected. I think you reached out to me and said, I have to trailer load this horse, and I know she doesn't like it, but she has to go. It's not my horse. I can't decide. Is it better that I am with her and push her over her boundaries, or is it better that I let someone else do it? And I would be honored if you wanted to share this with us, because this is happening all the time. Sometimes things are happening in our lives that are practical, that when we need to do things with our horses that they are not comfortable with, and when we have to do that, there are certain things that choices that we can do which makes such a profound difference. And I understood that in a completely new level when we shared this experience.
And I was so grateful that you guided me in this, because it made all the difference. So what you told me and what we talked about was that, of course, the two different scenarios here would be, if I said, no, I won't trailer load this horse, someone else would have come and done it in a worse way. And the other was that I could do it, and I would probably go over her boundaries. And what made me really sad that was that I knew that this horse would forgive me. And that also brought up all the times in history where I had abused my methods or power over a horse. So you asked me to stay with it, to stay with her, to be with her feelings in what we were going through, to see her even though I was going over her boundaries, and just having that conversation with you and getting that peace was such a release in me, because then it was okay. Either way, she will have to go through this, but now she won't have to be alone in it. I will see her, and I will stay with her. And probably also because of that, the trailer loading itself wasn't that bad at all. And you also spoke about them taking responsibility for what I had broken in the relationship afterwards, and that's also being one of the ways to stay.
Because building a culture of trust is not about, as you said before, it's not about being perfect. It's not about never crashing. It's not about never missing each other. It's a deep allowance of being in the process of exploring and growing. And to be able to explore and grow, you have to be allowed to do wrong. It has to be allowed to break. The trust has to break sometimes, because only then can you find your way back and heal even deeper.
And also feel how it feels to
yes.
to do the breaking, and like, this is not what I stand for. This is not what I want to build. And continue.
And it's really important, because in that in feeling the breaking, my experience and my picture is that if you allow yourself to stay completely present with all the feelings, with all the pain, all the shame, all the blame, all of it, then the breaking is quite small. Because the breaking, the total, because the connection is still there. If you allow yourself to be there in the feelings with your horse, you never leave it. So you never break the connection. Really. Sure, it might be a hurt, and it might be a lot of sorrow and sadness, but it's never a real break. The break only exists when you leave yourself, emotionally, or when you leave the horse. And of course, you can't leave the horse emotionally if you leave yourself, and so on. So it's the same. But as long as we stay, and this is for all relationships, this goes for everything. As long as you stay present in your feelings, the real trauma, the real break can never happen. And as long as you allow yourself to feel and stay present, then I would rather say that a deepening is possible, because then you can explore something new together. Then you can explore, how do we handle this? We both know this isn't good. We both know that this isn't what we would have wanted. But how can we stay together in that and evolve together?
Yes, that's so beautiful. That being said, the trailer loading situation, for example, in a perfect world, we would have had more time to prepare the horse, of course. So we didn't have to go over her boundaries. But this was not the case in this scenario, and when that happens, and will happen, then
yes.
it's so beautiful if we can take this perspective that you just shared.
And from my point of view, what the horses asked us isn't that we have to be perfect. It isn't that we have to be superhumans. It's the allowance of being human. It's the allowance of being us. And we all have traumas. We all have destructive patterns. We've all been raised in this society. So as Susanna says, we will keep doing this. We'll keep deconnecting. We will keep losing ourselves, and the forgiveness of that, so that we can allow ourselves to feel, is such a big key for me. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you for being there with me in that. And on that note, also, what we talked about last time I was at Emily's was that for horses, also one of the things that really is a big shift for the horse isn't that we go from super bad to perfect, which we can't, but it's the difference. It's the percent that shifts that makes all the difference for the horse. So say you sit on a horse that is super flexible and your hips are super tight. It's not that that horse won't be happy until your hips are as flexible as the horses, but it's interested in that you go to your uh, um, English word
Take it in
to
Swedish and
gräns limit
yeah.
where you can find like a little bit. Can you just find a little breath here? Can you just stay with this a little bit, and that will be a huge difference for the horse. So, and that was a great release for me to hear that. Okay, it's in the difference. It's not to be all the way in to have arrived, whatever arriving is, but it is in the work.
And what I hear you describing is the question, the importance from the horse is to ask, are you ready to try to meet me as much as possible?
Absolutely.
And if I am ready to meet you as much as possible, that is good enough. That
Totally.
is always good enough.
Yes.
I know we could talk for hours and hours and hours, and we often do. But I would like to just allow the beautiful people that are here with us today to see if there are any questions, if there are anything you would like to share with us today. With quite big possibility, me and Susanna will meet again in these because we have so many things we want to share with you. But for us, this was the core to start talking about how to build a culture of trust with your horses, and then we can go in deeper in different areas. And I'd love in the future to hear more about how your daily life with the horses looks like. When you crash, when you miss, how do you handle it, as we talk about now? And when you don't, how is that life looking?
Yeah.
Because for me, it was almost hard to, for a long time, understand that it was actually even possible to live the way you and we live with the horses today. So just to another day paint that picture, basically.
That would be beautiful.
Yes. But if there are any questions, it's you're so welcome to share them.
And I would love to come back, and there will also be a podcast on my site where I will wish to have you as guest several times.
always, every day.
So we can
That's
go.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And if any of you who are here today or watching a replay later on feels that this is an exploration that you want to dive into with us, we both work in through distance. That's possible today, but we also have Gathering of the Horse Tribe, which is one of the most important spaces. So much love for this, and we will meet up in Enköping in the end of June, I think June, July, and we will also meet up in Skåne in August. So if you would like to connect with this tribe physically, we are here.
And you can just search Gathering of the Horse Tribe and find events on Facebook, and they're also on our pages.
Exactly. So it's our one of our most important exploration areas, and we love having that together and just meeting up with the horses. And I don't know, Susanna, if we could also maybe just take a second to ask your horses if they have something they want to share with us before we let you go for today.
I just have Sky popping up, which
Sky is the foal.
She's 13 days, and she's just curiously super excited about this, and she's also, of course, on a mission. That's why she came here, I guess. And being a Tornas foal, she's like. So she's just super happy to have more people coming and to spread this more. She still hasn't any negative experiences around humans, so she's super positive around everything, and wishes to connect more and like have this new way of relating to horses. So it's just she who's popping up. Do you have anything else from any of them popping up?
Very Arrow is quite present with me. She gives me strength during this talk, and so that's also one of Susanna's horses, and she's kind of the gatherer in this tribe in a way, and she's very, very pleased about all of you being here with us, and just and she's reminding us of spreading the word. So please share, please invite people. We also have a group, Hästens Visdom in Swedish, but where you're so allowed to you don't have to have horses. It's just love for horses and wanting to explore and being a part of that. So she's like, yes, keep doing it and just giving you all so much love and so much strength, because I know that everyone that is here today with us and that will watch the replay, you're a part of this tribe, you're a part of this work, and you're so important, because without you this would be nothing. I mean, this is not about me, this is not about Susanna, it's about the horses, and it's about the connection that we create through them, basically. So just remember your importance. And I know it can be so hard being alone in a stable with this philosophy and this way of meeting and so on, but know that you're never alone. And we do everything we can to create this space for you to feel connected and to get the strength that you need. So thank you, all of you. And we have some questions here. We have Hanna Jakobsson. She has a question about trailer loading. I'm just going to see what she's writing. I'm going to trailer load my horse and drive her down to Skåne soon. And she has no traumas, but I think it's very unpleasant. And I'm afraid that she will think it's unpleasant. Is it better that someone else loads her, or how should I relate to this situation? How should I do? And it's very, very close to the situation that we talked about with you, Susanna.
Yeah. So I would say that she wishes to have you there. And if you feel like your emotions are overwhelming, I would advise you to be there, but maybe you can have someone else there also, and you can see who's the active part, but that she has you in the space, and also that you maybe on your own before that also visualizes and meditates upon that. Yes, it's a long trip, but it's not that super long, and she will have hay to eat, and she will have an interesting way to finding her balance in the trailer, and there will also be like she will come down here to Österlen, and she will like there's good things coming. So you also work on the expectation on the ride, which can also be totally fine.
So creating kind of positive vibes about the journey. So because what I hear you say is that the image that we have in our heads and in our hearts is also the image that we send to the horses. And we can do work before this kind of event to change that image in ourselves, so that we can create another image that is positive for the horse.
And in that also working on one's own body awareness and softness, and letting out tension beforehand, and also maybe a visualization in that space where you send love and faith into the trailer, and just like and like puts it all around in the trailer, so it's an energetically nice space to be in.
That's a beautiful picture. Thank you so much. And Lisa is saying thank you for this beautiful talk. So lovely to have you with us, Lisa. And Hannah, I hope this helps you, and we give you all the love for your trailer ride with your horse. And I really agree with Susanna that for your horse, for you to be there and share that moment with your horse. It's an important and as we talked about before, it's an important opening for you to connect even deeper. So see it as a gift, as a possibility, a chance to allow yourself to explore something new, something that is scary, maybe for the both of you, but especially for you, and start exploring how you can be present in that and learn from that experience. And Lena is writing that she can really relate to your history, Susanna. She's so thankful for the sharing that you did
Thank you.
and that you do. She says it's because of the courage that the horses gave her that she decided to stay on this earth with an open heart. And we know that you do such beautiful work, Lena. So
Yes.
it's such an honor to have you with us today and on this earth and on this journey.
In our tribe. Yes.
Yes, in our tribe, in our hearts. So thank you all so much for today, and I hope that this talk has filled your heart with love and trust in yourself, especially, but also from the horses. And if you want to feel it even more, as I said, you're so welcome to join the meditation through Zoom at 3:00 today. I will be out in the rain with the horses and sharing.
And it was so beautiful to read after your last meditation how many shifts and how how people was out there with their horses and how much that had ripple effects. It was so beautiful, and I'm so happy that you're spreading your medicine via the ether.
It's for me, it's also huge to understand that we can really connect. It's true magic. We can connect. It doesn't mean we don't have to be close physically. It's really nice, but we don't have to. And we can create such big shifts when we connect in a circle, even though it's far off. So thank you for creating this circle with me, Susanna, today.
Thank you for inviting me and for being everything that you are. I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
Same. All the love.
Yes.
Bye, all of you.